So spinning there in this vibrational reality is a full version of everything you want. All the money, all the bodily conditions, all the feelings in relationships that you want, all of the material objects, everything is queued up vibrationally. And don't scoff at that, because everything that is manifested, including your earth spinning in its orbit, spun in a vibrational reality first. The difference is, once you are here on this earth putting things into your vortex, the amount of time that it takes in your physical earth terms between not showing up in your experience and showing up in your experience is no time. When you become a match to the vibrational vortex and all of those cooperative components that have been assembled, when you become a vibrational match to that, it is instantaneous. In the moment that you stop the resistance, the trail lights up. Now we want you to understand that as creators, the lighted up trail is what you're looking for. You really don't want the instant manifestation. Can you imagine the absence of satisfaction that a sculptor would have if in the moment he touched the clay, it just became the statue? He wants to mold it. He wants to let it evolve. He wants to discover it. He wants to be part of it. And so do you. So when you get into the vortex, we're not saying that you will have an instant manifestation of what you want, although sometimes it seems that fast to you in relative terms. What we are saying is, when you get into the vortex, the trail lights up, your feeling of empowerment ensues, and the details begin to unfold as you follow the path and let your creative mind take you blissfully on the path of becoming that you've set into motion even before you stepped foot into this physical body. Creating is so delicious, and it's what we all are. And you came into these bodies intending to sift through the contrast in order to discover more desire. Sometimes as physical beings you think you're here to struggle your way to success, and we say that cannot be. You can struggle your way into asking. You can suffer your way into knowing that you don't want that and that you want something else. And it's an interesting thing, because when you know what you don't want, an equivalent, equal, counter desire is always born. So this vortex of creation that you have put into motion is filled with the culmination of what life has caused you to create in your asking as you sifted through contrast. Ooh, wasn't that beautifully said? This vortex is full of the vibrational equivalent of the asking that your physical experience has inspired through the sifting of the contrast that you've discovered along your way. You've created a vibrational reality that you hold ownership to, that stands in readiness for you, that waits for you eternally. We think you should get it now, however. We don't think that you should wait anymore. We think it's time for you to get into the vortex and begin to reap the reward, to find the answers, to solve the problems, to feel the exhilaration, to be the being who you have created. We think it's time. A lot of times people say, I'm afraid to let myself want something because I will be so disappointed if it doesn't come. Well, what that is that's an awareness that I want that and I don't want the opposite of it. It depends on where you're focused. The potential for wondrous or awful things is yours in every moment. Life is parlaying you into fantastic things, you see. So what we're really talking about here is you got to focus. You got to focus, because what's coming to you is coming in response to your allowance. And here's the thing that makes what we just said to you interesting and funny, but different than the way we were playing with it. And here's what we mean by this. You've already played your hand. You've already been living your life. You've already been asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking. In other words, you've already put who you really are over here in this vortex of creation, and you really have no choice other than to get up to speed with who you are. You'll crash and burn a few times, but all that'll do is make you more determined to focus until you'll reach the place where it will matter to you that you focus inside the vortex. This vortex of creation, it's the vibrational foundation for all of the good that manifests. And when you have full view of it, that's when you feel utter faith, because that faith is knowledge in something not yet seen. And the reason you can't see it is because it's pre-manifested. But there is so much that is wonderful that is pre-manifested that you can feel. If you can accept the reality of this vortex of creation, and you can realize that when your friends and family and well-wishers are coming to you, you can't give them the evidence yet, but you can give them your emotional vibrational version of it. And so what they're reaching for from you is your feeling of elation, your feeling of optimism, your feeling of knowing. You got to believe it before you can see it. You have to believe it in order to get in the vortex, and you've got to get in the vortex before you can see it, before you can rendezvous with the circumstances and events that are going to bring the manifestation of it about, you see. It's really interesting. This reality that humans claim and cling to is such an arbitrary thing. You are billions of people with billions of different perspectives of life experience, literally creating billions of different worlds, and yet pretending that it's all one big world that you're all sharing equally. You are on these vibrational islands with law of attraction spinning on your individual vortices, giving you exactly what you are a vibrational match to.